thought it would be a cool idea to utilize Death Stranding to play around with the idea of topographical profiles. I really like this game because it's kind of a toolbox for playing with weight in traversal. So you can see I'm looking out at the peak of that little hill, and I'm going to generate a little topographical profile of relatively low relief, and I'm going to navigate through it. You can see my hilariously large stack of cargo, and I'm going to check the map now, and I can see there's a couple of little river channels or what have you. Looks like a delta. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm going through this little area. In Death Stranding, this is the area known as the Eastern region. It actually takes place in America, but you really couldn't tell that by looking at the rocks. They're very very Icelandic. That's actually where they did location scouting. So I'm going to scan this river for its depth. The yellow indicates moderate depth, and the blue indicates shallow depth. And as I'm going through, you may hear some whimpering. That's the baby. You use the baby for well, this game has a lot of weird kind of supernatural elements, and there are kind of ghosts, if you will, and you use the baby to kind of scout them out, but you actually build up a good relationship with it. It's kind of strange, but you know, it works. So you can see I'm going over, jump through a little stream there, and there's another small stream. It's pretty shallow depth though. And then I go, oh, alright, continue. One of my favorite things about this game is how it expresses traversal as an action rather than just something that you passively do. And the biggest sort of minute-to-minute interaction is shifting your weight from one side to the other, because you are going to inevitably end up carrying gigantic stacks of cargo like the one you see on Sam Bridges right now. And you can see I'm kind of leaning to the right there. So I'm scanning, and I can see the terrain's getting a little more intense. You can see I'm hopping over rocks there a bunch. I sped it up just because it gets kind of repetitive unless you're playing the game. So I'm kind of up against a really steep rock. And one of my favorite things is you have a whole arsenal of navigational tools. They're pretty simple on their own, but you can build complex paths and networks through the world. Really rocky terrain, but you can make do with it. You can see I'm contemplating where to place it and then find a good place. It's always unnerving going up these ladders. You know, you carry such a huge amount of cargo, and you're kind of tiptoeing. And then climbing up mossy rock, really taking it slow. I don't want to fall over. Oh, and there's the crest. There's my little marker. So yeah, that's how it would go traversing a kind of low relief area in Death Stranding. Even though it's pretty low relief for the game, it's actually quite interesting. And you can see I'm leaving a little smiley face. Yeah, there we go. So moving on to the next area. In the next clip, this is in the in-game area called Weather Station, and my character is carrying things to the Timefall farm, I believe. And I'm actually on a player-made path. You can see that darker dirt there, and footprint impressions. That's my favorite. One of my favorite mechanics. You can actually share paths between players, and when little pebbles. Oh. There's the little profile. This is more kind of steep terrain, but when every little pebble can knock you off your feet, the nice gentle relief can help, even when it's on a steep hill like this. Oh my goodness. It's quite comical when you speed it up and he shuffles through. Oh. I slowed it down right here, because there's a epic little slip where he almost eats it, but he saves it right at the last minute. Oh. Oh, the baby approves. Yeah, if you ever get too overwhelmed by the dauntingness of carrying all the cargo, you can always look down at the baby to get some nice positive reinforcement. Oh, I love how detailed the rocks are. Each individual pebble is completely rendered. And the rain really changes the traction of the soil. You know, you're much more likely to slip and fall in the rain. So here I've made it to my second little objective. And then I go into photo mode to give a thumbs up after shouting. Yeah, when you shout out, player-made structures shout back out at you. And then I leave a little thumbs up sign. Going into photo mode to pose Sam. Yeah, thumbs up. Give him a smile too. Pleased. And there we go. So moving on to the third profile, I want to do something very, very intense. As you progress through the game, the terrain gets more and more rocky and rough as you go westward throughout the United States. And this is actually a order given by the geologist, believe it or not, to the veteran porter. Yeah, I think that's the one I end up selecting. There's a whole bunch of interface of selecting and dropping off orders for common people in the post-apocalypse. That's what Death Stranding's all about. And I love the way the loadout system works. It's very intricate and kind of puzzle-like. Oh, so yeah, there I am making the profile. You can see that's super, super steep. The game is measured in meters because it's actually a Japanese video game. So yeah, you can see the terrain is quite unforgiving. Oh, almost bite it there. With your, you can get an exoskeleton that supports a lot of your heavier orders, and it actually allows you to do a double jump, which is a little unrealistic, but you know, liberties are taken for science fiction entertainment. The snow can be a real slog though. Those player-made paths are just really, really valuable when you're going through the snow. You can see I keep popping up my little scanner arm to get a lay of the land. It's very helpful. There's a chiral crystal too. And then I put the footage back to normal speed right when I get to the regular grass and dirt. Oh, you can see the traction's picking up. Oh no! Yeah, you can fall over, and that's kind of the biggest punishment in this game. Rather than dying, is damaging the recipient's cargo. That it's not a good porter thing to do, because you play as a porter, which is essentially a courier postman in the apocalypse. So you can see me picking up the lost cargo, and I don't like how it's oriented, so I go in to change that in the loadout. There we go. Back on the road. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. I love how he stumbles and falls. Oh no! Yeah, this is another fall. I love this little save I'm about to do. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I love how you can grab things. I just really love this game, if you can't tell. So going back up, picking up my cargo. And then I'm heading back down to the station. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just included this last part to get a sense of how every mission operates in this game. I know this is a video about topographical profiles and all that, but oh yeah, also you gotta disinfect the cargo. Can't deliver rusty goods. And yeah, the orange versus the neon yellow indicates damage. So when you get fresh new deliveries, they start out with neon yellow, and you want to keep them neon yellow, but if they, you know, receive damage like they did when I fell over, they get more and more orange, and it can actually go from red to black, and when it gets to that is pretty much unrecognizable. You never want to damage your cargo all that much. And here I am, submitting the delivery.
Delivering cargo.
Sam Porter Bridges. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. Yeah, this ain't half bad, I suppose. No container repair spray. Didn't drop you low to take a tumble. Think back to every step you took along the journey.
He's not all that satisfied with my performance,
A few ways you could up your game.
but you know. Let's see. What's my grade? B. I'll take it. So yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching.